I'm Max.
I'm Gideon.
And this is Culinary Headline. Today we'll be making
chocolate chip cookies.
Our chocolate chip cookies starts with some melted butter. However, we're going to go one step further to make brown butter. So first, we're going to need 3 sticks or 1.5 cups of unsalted butter. To help the butter melt down easier and more evenly, we're going to chop all of the butter into roughly individual tablespoons. After all your butter is chopped, we're going to add them to a medium saucepan.
So once you have all the butter in the pot, you want to bring it to a boil and let all the butter melt.
Alright, so now the butter is boiling. Now we have to wait until it turns a lovely shade of brown. Afterwards, we can deposit it into a glass container. So now the butter has been sufficiently browned, we're going to put it in a glass container. Now we're going to start with our dry ingredients, which starts with 2 2/3 cup of all-purpose flour.
Next, we're going to add to the flour a generous pinch of salt. So next we're going to add a little bit of cinnamon.
Our next step after the dry ingredients is to mix the sugars with the butter. However, first we have to let the butter chill in the fridge for about an hour or until it's completely cooled off.
So now that the butter has cooled, we're going to measure out 3/4 cup of white sugar into a medium mixing bowl.
To this mixture, we're also going to add 1.5 cups of brown sugar. I'm just going to level it to make sure that it is accurate.
So next we're just going to add the butter to the sugars.
While mixing, you want to make sure to incorporate a lot of air into this mixture.
Alright, next, because a lot of air has been incorporated, we're going to add 2 eggs.
So now that the eggs, sugar, butter has been very nicely incorporated into one another, a lot of air has been formed, it's time to add them to the dry ingredients. So now you want to take only 1 scoop at a time. This is to prevent any lumps in the final batter from forming. Alright, so now we're going to add in the chocolate chips, and it's fine if the flour is not fully incorporated in because we're going to do that later when we mix in the chocolate chips. So we're just going to eyeball a few handfuls of some semi-sweet chocolate chips. Of course, you can use anything different that you like. It's all up to preference. You don't even need to use chocolate chips. You could use a chopped up bar of baking chocolate or anything you want.
Since who doesn't like more chocolate, we're actually going to add some white chocolate chips. So now you want to preheat the oven to about 350 degrees and grease up a cooking sheet.
So after a bit of time chilling in the fridge, not only to firm them up but also to add flavor, which you should do as well, I recommend about an hour at most. Now they're ready to be formed into balls. Now you want to go pretty generous with this because no one likes a small cookie. Now that the cookies are all formed, it's time to add some optional flaky sea salt on the top. This creates not only a nice flavor boost, but also some added crunch. I highly recommend it, however, you don't need to do it. Now, at long last, we will finally put the cookies into a 350-degree oven for approximately 11 to 13 minutes, depending on the size of your cookies. Now your cookies are done. Just grab one and enjoy.